Mom, Dad, breakfast is ready.
My little sister stood at the dining table in our parents' house, waiting patiently to serve them breakfast.
Oh, sweetie, you shouldn't have. I just thought I'd do something for your anniversary. Aw, you're such an angel. Get it?
My mom laughed at her own joke. I rolled my eyes and fake gagged.
Mind your manners, Adam. Your sister really worked hard on this.
It's bacon and eggs, Mom, and it's not even your anniversary. She wants something. Angel sniffed and wiped her eyes. I couldn't believe my parents were falling for her act. She had done it so many times.
I'm really sorry I got your anniversary date wrong. I've been so busy with school and volunteering at the animal shelter. I just got confused. Oh, honey, no need to apologize. Our anniversary isn't for another 4 months, but it's the thought that counts.
Wait for it, I thought to myself. Angel typed on her phone. A few minutes later, she looked up.
Well, I had booked a weekend getaway for both of you. I'm trying to cancel, but the resort says it's too late. This is so not fair. Don't be upset, honey. We wish we could go, but we are busy this weekend. How about we refund you for the money?
And there it is. Gosh, she was good.
Oh, you don't have to do that, but we want to. How much did you spend? $1,000?
$1,000? Does it come with gold flecks in your food?
I wanted the best for them. No need to be sarcastic.
My parents gave me a look I'd seen so many times before. Disappointment. That look was always directed at me, never at Angel. When my little sister was born, my parents thought she was a perfect angel. They literally named her Angel. Boy, were they wrong. Before I continue, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also hit that notification bell so you never miss other cool videos like this one. Minutes later, I watched as Angel laughed at something she was reading on her phone. Don't you feel even the least bit guilty? You just lied to Mom and Dad.
You're just jealous you didn't think of it first.
It's $1,000, Angel. That's a lot of money.
Oh, please. We both know Dad spends a lot more than that on Shelly, and Mom would spend that on a stupid handbag.
I had to admit, she was right. Our parents were loaded. Angel was the perfect daughter. Straight A student, student body president, and everyone's choice for homecoming queen. She volunteered at the animal shelter because she loved animals. At least that's what she told my parents. I knew she did it because her boyfriend Ethan volunteered there too. His dad was the mayor. How's it going at the shelter? Any new furry friends?
Ugh, don't remind me. I saw a flea the last time I went.
I laughed. I better get going. It's a long drive back to college. Don't kill our parents while I'm away.
Goodbye, big brother.
A few weeks later, I was about to leave my dorm room for class when I got a call from Dad.
Adam, you need to come home. Angel is missing.
I could hear Mom crying in the background. What? Since when? Did you check with her friends?
Just come home now, Adam. Your sister needs you.
After Dad hung up, I dialed Angel's secret number. My parents didn't have it. It went straight to voicemail. What have you done now? If this is one of your games, it's not funny. Mom and Dad are worried sick. Call me back. I packed a bag and got in my car. I couldn't wait to see what she had done this time. It was dark when I got home. There was a police car parked outside. I guess this was more serious than I thought. Mom, I'm home. What's going on? Mom ran and threw herself in my arms. Well, that was new. Dad was talking to a lady I had not seen before.
Adam, my name is Detective Shaw. When was the last time you spoke to your sister?
She got out her notepad waiting for my answer. Mom still hadn't let go. 2 days ago, she called to tell me about some date she was going on. She never mentioned who she was going with.
But we found her smartphone in her room and we didn't see any calls between you two.
Here we go. Angel has another phone. The look on my parents' face was comical. They went from shocked to betrayed and finally to angry.
Why would you lie about something like that, Adam? Detective, if my Angel had another phone, we'd know. Adam just wants to stir up trouble.
Unbelievable. For God's sake, Mom, when will you ever realize that your perfect angel is the devil? Mom burst into tears. Dad looked horrified. I'd had enough of this. I'll tell you everything you need to know, Detective. Then I'm getting out of here. I told her everything Angel did behind my parents' backs. By the time I was done, my mom was hysterical. She asked me to leave immediately. Detective Shaw gave me her card and told me to call in case I remembered anything else. As I was leaving, I saw a truck pull up. It belonged to the local TV station. I bet Angel was loving this. I wouldn't be surprised if she was hiding behind some bushes watching my parents' world implode.
Adam? Hey, I'm Ethan, Angel's boyfriend.
No wonder Angel risked catching fleas. Adam looked like he just walked off a magazine cover. Ah, hey, do you know where she is? My parents are freaking out.
I don't. That's why my dad and I are here.
He pointed at the news truck. The mayor was addressing a couple of reporters. You think she's really missing? This isn't just one of her mind games?
What are you talking about? What mind games?
Great, Ethan was just as oblivious as my parents. Forget I said anything. Let's hope she's found safe. Gotta go.
Adam, wait. There's something I think you should tell the police. Angel has a stalker. This guy, 𝗕𝗔𝗦𝗬𝗘𝗦. You went to school together? He asked Angel out a couple of times, but she wasn't interested.
That hardly makes him a stalker. I remembered Joe. I hadn't seen him in over a year.
A few weeks ago, he started showing up at the shelter. He'd ask around for Angel. I told him to stay away from her. Do you think he might have done something to her?
Something like what?
Who knows? Maybe he got tired of Angel rejecting him and took matters into his own hands.
My head hurt. I needed to get out of here. As I was driving back to college, I thought about my conversation with Ethan. Why would Joe be stalking Angel? He used to come to our house all the time and never showed any interest in Angel. I had to talk to him. I made a U-turn and drove back into my hometown. Joe lived in an apartment close to the garage he worked at as a mechanic. When I got to his place, the first thing I noticed was Angel's car. It was locked, but I could see a phone on the driver's seat. It was her secret phone. Ethan had made it sound like Angel wanted nothing to do with Joe. Why would her car be here? I walked to Joe's front door and rang the bell. Nobody answered. The place looked deserted. His mail was piled on the doormat. I turned the front door lock and was surprised when it opened. Angel, Joe, it's me, Adam. Nobody answered. What I saw next scared the living daylights out of me. There were hundreds of photos on the living room floor and on the furniture. All were of Angel. Some had the word mine written on them in red. The TV was on.
Police have this afternoon named Joseph Palmer, alias Joe, as a person of interest in the disappearance of local girl Angel 𝗕𝗓𝗖𝗢𝗑𝗓𝗓. This comes after a witness claimed to have seen Joe lurking at the 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓 residence on the night Angel disappeared. Angel, 19, was reported missing by her parents after she failed to come home and her phone went unanswered.
I'd seen enough. I called Detective Shaw. She told me they were already on their way and not to touch anything. The room creeped me out, so I went back outside. As I was coming out the door, I saw a car pull up. I knew that car. I'd seen that car that morning at my parents' house.
I'm here. Where did you say the phone was?
What was Ethan doing here and who was he talking to? I watched as he unlocked Angel's car and took out her phone. He then walked back to his car. He didn't see me. He also didn't recognize my car. I couldn't let Ethan drive off. He obviously knew what happened to Angel. He even had her car keys. I called Detective Shaw again.
Adam, we told you to wait for us. We're on our way.
But you don't understand. She hung up on me. Ethan would be long gone by the time she and her team got here. I had to do something. I ran to my car and followed Ethan's car. I tried Detective Shaw's phone again, but she didn't pick up. After about half an hour, Ethan turned off the highway and onto a dirt road. I knew that road. It led to a cabin overlooking a small lake. The property belonged to the mayor, Ethan's dad. Since the road was deserted, I didn't want to risk Ethan seeing my car, so I parked behind some bushes and walked the rest of the way. I got to the cabin just as Ethan was getting out of his car. He was carrying bags of what looked like takeout food. What was he up to? Just then, the cabin door opened, and you wouldn't believe who walked out. It was Angel. She ran and threw her arms around Ethan before kissing him. I knew it. She wasn't in any danger. This just was another one of her games. Angel, how could you do this to Mom and Dad? They're going out of their minds. I turned to Ethan. You knew where she was this whole time? Angel looked shocked for a second, then a smile spread across her face. I saw a cat smile like that once.
You always were a nosy one. Didn't you say he had driven back to college? You led him right to us.
She was talking to Ethan now. I'm calling Mom. As I went to get my phone from my pocket, Ethan grabbed me from behind. What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry, Adam. You should have kept driving.
Something pricked my neck. What? The last thing I saw was Angel opening the door to the cabin. I had a massive headache. I opened my eyes and tried to focus on where I was. I was about to speak when I remembered what had happened. My sister's boyfriend had drugged me.
Okay, everything is ready. Here, hold this.
Ethan handed Angel a newspaper. He was wearing a mask.
Make sure today's date is visible. Now, talk.
My name is Angel 𝗕𝗓𝗖𝗢𝗑𝗓𝗦. I have a message for my parents. Mom? Dad? I'm so sorry. I was kidnapped. They're asking for $5 million in cash or they'll kill me. Drop it off at the fountain in the park. You have until noon tomorrow.
Ethan turned off the camera mounted in front of Angel, then started to slow clap.
How was that?
You were perfect, baby.
The knife was a little too much, though.
I had to make it look believable. Just like your photos and your car at Joe's apartment. Did I scare you?
I'm not afraid of you.
What now?
Now you send the video to my mom. Then you go crying to your daddy. I'm sure you'll help my mom and dad come up with the money.
You're scary.
And don't you forget that.
I was going to be sick. This whole thing was about money?
I know we agreed to get rid of Joe, but what about Adam?
Angel was silent. Was she actually considering killing me?
Let me think about it. Go get our money. And be careful out there. You know, if you die, I'll just say you were working with Joe.
Ethan laughed nervously. As soon as he went out the door, I sat up and looked around. The cabin was empty except for 2 couches, a small fridge, and a microwave. They were all new. Angel and Ethan must have been planning this for a while. Angel.
Shut up!
Are you actually going to kill me?
I said shut up!
I'd never seen my sister that angry before. I was terrified of her.
Police! Open up!
I had no idea how long I'd been asleep or what day it was. There was a loud bang as the door came off its hinges. Angel ran, cowering in the corner, crying.
Officers, thank God you found me. My boyfriend, Ethan, he went crazy and locked us in here. Save it, Miss Cordello. We already have Ethan in custody. He told us everything.
An hour later, we were at the police station. Angel and Ethan had been arrested and were being interrogated.
Hey, Adam, I'd like a statement from you. What happened after we spoke on the phone?
Detective Shaw had just finished briefing my dad. Mom had been taken to the hospital. Finding out the truth about Angel was too much for her to take. I told the detective everything that happened. Did you find Joe?
Yes, Angel and Ethan had him in another room at the cabin.
How did he get mixed up in all this?
A few months ago, Joe asked Angel out on a date, but she said no. Then last week, she called him out of the blue and said she had reconsidered. She suggested they go to the cabin. She lied that she had rented it for the weekend.
Let me guess, Ethan was at the cabin waiting.
Yes, they tried to frame him for Angel's kidnapping, but Ethan got arrested collecting the ransom money at the fountain.
Days later, the Angel Cordello and Ethan Kane story was on every news channel. Their photos were splashed across newspapers. Reporters were camped out on our front lawn. Angel was out on bail and back in my parents' house. She apologized to my parents and promised to change. I wish I believed her. Mom, please, make it stop. I sat in my bed with my head between my knees. I thought my head was being split open. The pain was unbearable. I had no idea what time it was, but it was eerily quiet, except for my quiet sobs and heavy breathing.
Luke, what's wrong?
My mom was at my side soothingly, rubbing my back. It's happening again. The pain in my head, it's so bad, Mom. And my eyes, I feel like they're on fire. I can't take it. My mom said something, but her voice sounded so far away, like I was trapped underwater. I already knew this part. It was what happened right before I passed out. My name is Luke Barrett. My parents told me I was born blind, but they never told me the story behind it. Here's that story now. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. I grew up pretty much alone. Apart from my parents, I had no one else to spend time or play with. I was turning 18 soon, and I hadn't even had my first kiss. Before you start to feel sorry for me, my childhood was great. You see, I was a special child. I know that's what every parent says about their child, but in my case, it was true. I took my first step when I was 5 months old, and I could read and write by my first birthday. My parents were afraid I would get bullied at school, so they never enrolled me. My dad was a scientist at a research facility called X-Tech. My mom was a teacher, so homeschooling me was really easy. I made up for my lack of a social life by learning to play musical instruments, getting college degrees, and spending time with my dad at X-Tech. I was planning to eventually join him full-time. I never let my blindness get in my way, but I always wondered what I was missing. I often imagined my mom's smile, the color of her eyes. Sometimes I asked her to describe things for me. The color of a rainy day, the color of the ocean when we went to the beach. She'd start to talk, but then she'd cry. I often wondered why.
Luke, my name is Dr. Fielding. I don't know if you remember me, but I work with your dad. How are you feeling?
I could hear machines beeping. Something was pricking my arm. I went to remove it, but Dr. Fielding told me that there was a tube attached to my arm. What's all this? Where are my parents?
They're right outside. I'll get them for you.
When my parents came in, the doctor, well, she was an ophthalmologist, but let's just call her doctor because ophthalmologist is quite a mouthful. Anyway, she said that my constant headaches were being caused by light sensitivity. What does this mean? I never had headaches until a few weeks ago.
I really don't know what all this means. For now, just avoid direct sunlight, and if you have to go out, you have to put on these special glasses.
She fit them over my eyes and left. I bet I looked really cool wearing them, like a secret agent. My new glasses worked wonders. My headaches were gone and I no longer woke up in the middle of the night sweaty and in agony. My life was back to normal. Well, my normal at least. One evening, my dad came home and announced that he'd quit his job. He said that he was working on something that was going to make him loads of money. Wow, Dad, what is it?
I can't tell you yet. You'll have to wait and see.
Haha, you think you're funny.
I couldn't help myself. Tell you what, I'll let you be my assistant. What do you say?
Yeah, when do we start? Wait, where will we work from? He told me that he'd be working from our house. In the next few weeks, he turned our garage into a fully equipped science lab. It was really cool. We spent all day and sometimes night in there. I still didn't know what he was working on. All he said was that he'd be finished soon, then we'd become super rich, and also that my life would change forever. One night while working in the lab, my normally dark world went bright. So bright that I dropped a glass jar and fell to my knees.
Luke, are you all right?
Please turn it off. The light is burning my eyes. My dad lifted me off the floor and placed me on a sofa.
Daniel, what's all that noise? Oh my God, Luke!
My mom rushed to my side.
It's happening. It's working. Call Dr. Fielding. Tell her we're on our way.
Dad, what's going on? He didn't answer me. Instead, he placed something ice cold on my eyes and wrapped a cloth around my head. He placed another cloth on my nose. The last thing on my mind before I passed out was my dad had drugged me. When I woke up, my eyes were still tightly wrapped. I could hear voices in the distance.
Dr. Fielding, I'm here about Luke Barrett. Is it true that he can see again?
Hello, Mr. Xavier. Luke's dad, Daniel, has been working on some kind of miracle drug. He started testing it on Luke a few weeks ago. He put it in his drinking water.
I lay very still.
How is he now?
He was unconscious and heavily drugged when they brought him in 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? I've been here, wherever here is, for 2 weeks? Why would my dad drug me?
I ran some tests, and that's when I called you.
Are you sure your findings are accurate?
100% sure. The boy is no longer blind. I haven't told his parents yet. Wanted you to hear it first. What do you plan to do with him? With his parents?
You're not getting paid to ask questions. All you need to know is that we're taking him tonight. He belongs to X-Tech. I only let them take him because he was blind and not very useful to me. This changes everything. Dr. Fielding, hello. Any update on Xavier? What are you doing here? You have no business coming near my son.
My dad had just walked in.
I'm here because of your son's illness. We still care about him. After all, we were the ones who— That was a long time ago. We don't need you anymore. We'll see about that.
The door banged, then silence followed. Dad?
Oh God, Luke, you're awake. I'm so sorry I did this. I thought the drug would work for sure.
Who was that man? My dad came to my bed and removed the bandages from my eyes.
Open your eyes, Luke.
When I opened my eyes, all the brightness in the room burned my eyes. I blinked rapidly and tried to focus, but soon tears filled my eyes. I'm sorry, I can't. It hurts.
Take your time, Luke. Tell us what you see.
I tried again. This time I saw dark shapes that swam in a sea of brightness. I reached my hand out to touch one of the dark shapes closest to me.
You can see me? Daniel, you did it! Our baby can see! You need to get out of here. Xavier is planning to take Luke away from you.
Dad, we can't trust her. She could be leading us into a trap. I heard that Xavier man say he's paying her. He said I belong to X-Tech. What was he talking about?
You don't have to trust me, but please get Luke and go. I've brought you some medications for his eyes. He should be able to see clearly in a couple of days.
As Dr. Fielding let us out, a loud alarm went off.
Keep going, I'm right behind you.
My mom took my hand and ran. When we got to our car, we realized that Dad and Dr. Fielding were not with us.
The doors must have shut before they could get out. We have to go, Luke.
I was worried about Dad. Would Xavier kill him? Who was Xavier? We can't leave him. Mom, what's going on?
We don't have a choice, Luke. I'll explain everything, but first, we need to go, now.
Mom half lifted, half shoved me into the car, then drove off.
Luke, there are things you need to know. Once we're a safe distance away from here, I'll tell you everything, I promise.
I couldn't answer her. I was already falling asleep. I was woken up by a sharp pain in my arm. I tried to pull away, but Mom told me to hold still. Mom, what are you doing to my arm? That hurts.
You have a tracking device in your arm, Luke. You've had it all your life. It was part of the deal. I've removed it now. Once I'm done bandaging you, we'll get back on the road.
We were sitting in Mom's car parked in a deserted parking lot. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what is going on. I've had enough pricking and prodding. You and Dad are treating me like a lab rat. I had a million questions, but Mom was done talking. She gave me some water to drink. I fell asleep immediately.
Luke, honey, wake up. Dinner's ready. You must be starving.
I was lying in something warm and soft. When I opened my eyes, I sat up immediately. I could see much more clearly. I could see my mom. Mom, you're tall. Tears streamed down her face and she hugged me and laughed.
Do you want to see what you look like?
Sure, but first I need to know what's going on. What she told me changed my life forever.
About 20 years ago, I found out I couldn't have children. I was devastated. I tried everything, clinics, herbs, nutrition, name it. But nothing seemed to work. I'd given up all hope when I got a call from someone who claimed he could help me. It was Xavier.
During the call, Xavier told her to visit his facility, 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗑𝗧. He introduced her to a team of scientists who he claimed would help her, free of charge. Among them was a young intern she later got to know as Daniel. After she signed some papers, she was given some pills that put her in a deep sleep for days. When she woke up, she was pregnant with me. She couldn't believe it. She was overjoyed. However, when she asked to go home, she was not allowed to leave because they needed to observe her closely. It was during her stay there that she and Daniel fell in love, and he told her the truth about Xavier and his facility. He told her that 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗍 was never going to let her keep the baby. After she gave birth, they'd take the baby away and sell it. He told her that the only way they'd let her keep the baby is if the baby was not perfect when it was born.
That's when we made the hardest decision of our lives.
Mom, what did you do?
We blinded you, Luke. Your dad, Daniel. He gave me some pills he stole from the lab. He told me to put them in my drinking water. I took the pills for months. Those pills made you blind before you were born. When it was time for you to be born, Xavier told me that you belonged to 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗍. He had a buyer waiting.
I was going to be sick. I'd asked for the truth, but now that it was here, I wasn't sure I wanted to hear it.
Xavier took you away immediately. I never even got to hold you. I cried and begged, but nobody listened.
Tears were streaming down both our faces. Mom was holding my hand so tightly. Mom continued with her horror story.
When Xavier took you away, he asked Daniel to get you ready for his clients who were eager to meet you.
A few days later, Xavier wrote a check to my mom and told her to leave the facility immediately. Daniel quit his job and left with her, and they got married. Months later, Daniel got a call from someone at 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗍. It was Dr. Fielding. She told him that I'd been returned to the facility and Xavier was planning to terminate me.
We rushed to 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗍 and begged Xavier to let us take you home with us. He told us that his clients had found out I was blind. He was so angry.
Xavier agreed to let Mom and Daniel take me home on condition that she pay back the money he gave her.
That was an easy decision. I still had the money.
If you paid him back, why is he after me now?
Xavier's an evil man. He heard you were admitted at 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗍 and got Dr. Fielding to tell him the truth. He's demanding I hand him over my miracle drug and all my research.
Dad, you're here. How did you get out? My dad looked nothing close to what I'd imagined him to look like. I always pictured a tall, wiry man with framed glasses. It was how scientists were described in movies. The man standing in front of me was what I imagined giants look like. I always wondered how you could lift me so easily. Now I see why. He dropped to his knees and sobbed. My mom ran to him and hugged him.
He can see clearly, Daniel. It happened when we got here.
After several minutes of tears and laughter, my dad, I don't think I was ever going to call him Daniel, told us what happened after we left.
Xavier had his men hold me in some cells. They're in a part of 𝗥𝗘𝗍𝗍 I'd never been to before. He told me if I wanted to see you two again, I had to surrender what was left of my miracle pills and all my research.
My dad took Xavier and his men to our home, where they took everything in his lab.
They even took my equipment. Xavier left me with a warning not to go to the police. He asked me to take you and leave town. If he sees either of us again, he'll have us terminated.
So what do we do now?
He may have taken my research, but not my knowledge. We're going to start over in another country. I have everything arranged. Then you and I will work together and bring Xavier and X-Tech down. What do you say?
That sounded like a plan.